You did not just walk into my establishment and rip my head off.
My man, look, we don't have a lot of time for this. You really need to tell him something.
I'll tell him this.
All right, your head.
Wait.
Men in Black 5 is the next big sequel in line, and it all started back in 2014 when Sony was hacked. The hackers revealed that there were plans for a crossover film between Men in Black and 21 Jump Street. Imagine Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum's undercover cops teaming up with the MIB agents to stop an alien invasion. It's pretty wild, right? And now, even though the crossover never happened, some insiders have confirmed some interesting details. Let's dive into what we know so far about Men in Black 5 and what might be coming next. Before we get into all the details about Men in Black 5 and what's cooking behind the scenes, let's quickly touch on why the franchise has been quiet for a while. The last movie, Men in Black International, didn't exactly impress. Critics weren't fans, and it only made a bit over $253 million globally. While that's not a small amount, it's not great for a big-budget movie in such a popular franchise. Still, Men in Black is a huge brand, so a Men in Black 5 still seems pretty likely. It's not officially confirmed yet, but reports say Sony's working on it. And let's be real, Sony loves to expand successful franchises. Just look at Ghostbusters Frozen Empire or their Marvel movies. Now here's a fun theory for Men in Black 5. What if it somehow connects to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Hear me out. It's a long shot, but with the MCU neck deep in its multiverse saga, the possibilities are endless. Disney owns the MCU, and Sony already has a working relationship with Marvel Studios through the Spider-Man franchise starring Tom Holland. So a crossover isn't completely out of the question. Imagine a team-up where the MIB agents are tasked with managing multiverse anomalies, tying them directly to the madness unfolding in the MCU. Wild, right? But before we dive too deep into Men in Black 5's potential, let's rewind and see why this iconic franchise has been dormant for so long. The last installment, Men in Black International, didn't exactly light the world on fire. Despite starring MCU alums Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, the movie fell flat with critics and underperformed at the box office, bringing in just over $253 million worldwide. That's a hefty sum, but not what you'd expect for a big-budget entry in such a beloved franchise. The lukewarm reception raised questions about the future of the series, but let's be real, the Men in Black brand is too lucrative to stay on the shelf forever. So, is Men in Black 5 happening? According to Giant Freaking Robot, it's reportedly in development at Sony. While the studio hasn't officially announced it yet, Sony's track record of milking franchises suggests it's only a matter of time. Just look at their recent revival of Ghostbusters with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire and their continued expansion of Marvel Comics films. Sony clearly loves keeping its franchises alive, so the odds of Men in Black 5 eventually getting the green light are pretty high. And let's not forget the infamous 2014 Sony hack that revealed some fascinating plans for a crossover between Men in Black and 21 Jump Street. Yep, you read that right. There were actual discussions about Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum's undercover cops teaming up with the MIB to thwart an alien invasion. Rodney Rothman, the co-writer of 22 Jump Street, was even working on the script. Unfortunately, scheduling conflicts and the sheer logistical challenges of aligning the two franchises ultimately derailed the project. Still, the idea shows just how flexible the Men in Black universe can be. Who knows, maybe we'll see a version of this crossover someday. Now here's where things get even more intriguing. Men in Black is based on a comic book series published under Marvel Comics imprints, much like Kick-Ass and Kingsman. Naturally, this raises the question, could the Men in Black exist in the MCU? This theory gained traction in a Vanity Fair video where Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, and Kumail Nanjiani, all MCU, reacted to fan theories about the franchise. Think about it. Both universes have alien shapeshifters, secretive organizations, and high-tech gadgets. Thematically, it wouldn't be a huge leap. Imagine a scenario where the MIB agents discover that multiverse breaches are causing alien chaos, and they end up working alongside Doctor Strange or even Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Sony and Marvel Studios already collaborate on the Spider-Man movies, so it wouldn't be impossible for the MIB to make a cameo in the MCU. The synergy could be incredible, especially with the multiverse saga in full swing. picture Agent J and Agent K navigating the multiverse while cracking their signature deadpan jokes. Add a few MCU cameos and you've got a blockbuster. Or Men in Black 5 could just bring back Agents K and J are back in action, and K is pulled out of retirement to face a major alien threat aiming to take down humanity. The story picks up a decade after Men in Black 3, with F. Gary Gray, who worked on Men in Black International, potentially directing. This scenario has been making the rounds, and it definitely feels like it could be a real direction for the next chapter. The idea of bringing back Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones is key. While it's possible to have Men in Black without them, like Men in Black International with Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, the results weren't as strong. The 2019 film made just $254 million, which was a far cry from the earlier films. Clearly, if the franchise is going to keep going, the original stars are probably needed to bring it back to its roots. That said, there's the challenge of Tommy Lee Jones, who's now 78. While he's still involved in action thrillers, there's no guarantee he'll be up for a major action role, but with the right incentives, he could very well come back into the fold. If Men in Black 5 happens, this concept could be a solid foundation for the movie. After over a decade since the original duo last worked together, and with International not hitting the mark, a return to the classic team-up could be just what the franchise needs. If it plays out this way, fans would likely get exactly what they've been hoping for. Of course, this is all speculative, but it highlights how much potential Men in Black 5 has to not only revive the franchise, but also take it in a bold, new direction. Whether it's tying into the MCU, revisiting the crossover idea with 21 Jump Street, or simply reuniting the original stars for one last mission, the possibilities are endless. If Sony plays its cards right, Men in Black 5 could be the fresh start this franchise desperately needs. And here's the kicker. Rumor has it another big name might be joining the mix, a rising star who's quickly becoming Hollywood's it girl. Before we dive in, let's clarify that this is just a rumor. It popped up on Twitter recently, and no official sources have backed it up yet. So treat this as speculative fun rather than a done deal. That said, the idea is definitely worth discussing. The rumor? Sydney Sweeney might join the Men in Black universe. If you've been following Sweeney's career, you know she's been absolutely everywhere lately. She's fresh off the success of the romantic comedy Anyone But You and the chilling horror film Immaculate. On top of that, she's set to star as legendary boxer Christy Martin in an upcoming biopic produced by Black Bear. Her schedule is clearly packed, but if the rumor holds water, she might just make time to suit up for Sony's iconic franchise. This wouldn't be Sweeney's first rodeo with Sony either. She's already teamed up with them for Madam Web, one of the studio's high-profile entries in their Marvel lineup. If her experience on that project was positive, and Sony clearly sees her star power, it's not a stretch to think they'd want to keep working together. Adding someone as versatile and buzzworthy as Sweeney to the Men in Black cast would inject some fresh energy into the franchise, while appealing to a younger audience. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.